call you back.
All right, I guess we're ready to start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
A motion from Spencer and a second from Jensen to approve the minutes and agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Carries. Still be ready to get Scott.
7511? No, 7530. Chris is
Hello.
We're ready for you.
Yep. We'll be up.
This is a big brouhaha for color paper.
Well, the volleyball coach would not have.
Okay. Morning, Scott.
Hi.
So the football boys bad.
Morning.
Morning.
So we're on number 2, talking about that vacation of the right-of-way.
Okay.
Did you have some ideas for that?
Some ideas. Yeah. Gary and I met up there. It's been a week and a half, 2 weeks ago or so. Walked around a little bit. Got more familiar with the area. I went up there maybe a week ago and looked further at this roadbed from 40s through the 70s, the road that went through that vacated area with the old box culvert there, and there was, a road ditch that connected those 2 box culverts, the old one that was abandoned and the new one that goes under the Minnesota line road. So my thought would be to clear the brush, along that flowage way and track an excavator along there and dip out any obstructions. I think that is what I gathered everybody's looking for, kind of a clear path so we can see what needs to, where the water's supposed to flow, so we can keep an eye on things and make sure that before we accept the responsibility as landowners that things are flowing well and they can physically see that.
So would this be a 2-step process where you clear it first?
Sounds like it. So Al and his family have some brush clearing equipment that they do for hire, and he's given me a number of estimated $800-900 to go in there and kind of clear a swath along that flowage way. Don't really know till we get in there how long it'll take, but it's pretty aggressive equipment. It sounds like it can take out anything that is out there except for those large diameter cottonwoods, which hopefully we can work around. So I talked to Helgeson's too about if they were interested in working in there, and he said lukewarm, they're busy, but they'd look at it be best after they did some brush clearing so they can kind of see what they're up against. That's where I'm at now. So maybe it'd be worthwhile to give them the go-ahead if they got time to clear it out, and then we can see what we got.
Okay, I've got a technical question for you.
Okay.
Who actually owns the property now? Or does it control it? Is it Corey?
So So it'd be split.
East up to the road.
Yep, it'd be split. They actually do. They've always owned it.
Right.
They've always owned the title to the land.
Okay, so when we go in there,
It just, even the 7 acres, we were talking six point something.
Yep. So they've always owned the
Okay.
title to the
Okay.
land. The road, the county has always had road right-of-way easement, which,
Okay.
you know, for all intents and purposes, looks like owning the
and
property.
from the original road east is the Schraders. Or the Schrader family.
Yes.
Okay, so when we go in and work, do we have to have any special permission from Corey then to do that work?
I guess, give me the yay today and,
Have at it.
yeah,
I just want to make sure we're covering all our bases and we don't
Yeah.
get any trouble.
yeah.
Yeah,
A concern that I have, for the sake of, giving Scott a quote here on that, is if that is, and I'm taking from what, you're saying, and what Sean Helgeson said, as far as there's, that ditch is there and stuff. This looked better about 2 weeks ago, before the rain started. For the sake of my equipment, to get in there, and if it's a low area or whatever, could be undoable, because just last week we had about 4 inches of rain up there, So I don't know, if you're on the high ground, I'm assuming there's high ground and there's the old road ditch, that you can do one, but maybe not the other with what's going on here with the weather at this point.
Yeah.
We also have that company that is gonna do down by the river. We could have them come in and do it. They can get all
these
the
things
trees.
are like little, what you're gonna be shredding is the little,
Well, but, and I'm glad you did that, because we assume that willows are this big. They're not. They get some size to them, and I'd have to get out to see this area, because Scott has given me a marked up map, if you will, what he wants done there. And this is just following the old road ditch is what it amounts to, And, I know the farther in, if you look at this from the blacktop looking in, it looks like small stuff in there, but these willows can get to be like this big around and get tough. And you don't know until you get in there just how big
it
or.
just takes longer to go through.
Yeah,
those.
yeah. But our equipment does deal with willows well, so. But for the sake of, I'm just saying, not that the size is a big issue here for us to do it, it's just merely getting in there. If he wants the road ditch cleared, it could be sitting with water, and we cannot walk on water.
Yeah, I was in there last week. I think that we should be able to get up where we need to. I was walking in there, without water coming up onto my boots,
So
so.
much different than we walk.
Yeah, I mean, just
Worse.
marshier, but for the most part, it's, head and shoulders above where it was when we originally took those beaver dams out there, and there's 3 foot of water sitting in there. Now you can walk, even the creeks, or even the old ditch, you can walk through and it doesn't go over a boot.
But I'd like to make it clear to, both parties here, the only thing that Scott and I have talked about is clearing just the old road ditch, would still leave that whole center, most of that center area covered with willows. And I guess that's up to these parties to make a decision on if that's acceptable or not.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that, how far back it was gonna be pushed, because those willows, the county will drive by and spray. Next year, they've encroached on the roadway again. I think they just keep growing out from the roots. If the stuff isn't cleared, I think it'll just keep moving right back out.
Do you have a slide or anything of what you proposed so that they can see it?
Do you have email here with this computer?
Well, wouldn't we treat that like, any other drainage problem we have, whether it be, the wetlands or anything like that? And so, we're gonna have to, the district's gonna have to keep that maintained.
But there's no
There's
district.
no district.
That's right, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
The water drains through it, but there's no water drainage district.
I keep forgetting.
That's funny,
No organized district.
right? No official.
So,
I, I don't know if you can show them on Beacon.
we would have to.
No.
Well, told me to get one of those where I can just transmit.
So if you can see, so for the sake of your property,
Pass it around.
this is all they talk about. This is follow.
Did you have a chance when you went to take this
And,
picture?
so it's leaving all that.
Side, are you talking about this side at all?
Clear the brush.
Or are you just talking about this
White
edge?
is,
The picture too.
Because
Yeah.
this is,
So it-
we even half of that
Again, it has.
road.
So this sliver here
Mhm,
is your part.
mhm.
Right now, the water comes from your property, comes through this old road bed,
Yeah,
and comes along here.
so
So we
while you-
would make sure this is flowing well to here, and then this is flowing well to the point where it goes into your property.
okay, because this is what I couldn't see when I talked
Yeah,
to you.
this all up here, there is quite a few
Yeah, I'll show you.
small trees and stuff, and that goes even back into your property quite a ways.
Right.
So
This-
it'd
they're
be
all
nice
these
to
small-
manage all that together somehow,
Keeps the
but
ice.
Would.
the water doesn't
Um,
flow through this area.
I threw something out to Scott, last week when we
Yeah.
talked about this part of it, you know, as far as,
Yeah,
and I don't know who
yeah,
the DNR has doing some of their stuff with the helicopter, but you know, that area on Highway 9, they've sprayed a bunch of that and different places they've hit with this. And, to deal with this center section, especially the center section, if you guys, if that was something you guys wanted to do, was clean that up or get that stuff dead, did you talk to anybody about how you could maybe piggyback with the DNR to do something there?
I didn't come up with anything, I guess, on that.
But I know, you know, like Five Star Co-op and, there's some opportunities that, a helicopter could spray that, and you're not talking much area, you know, but that, even with what we do for spraying trees, we don't have the ability to spray that to get out, to get this done. It just about needs to be done from the top, you know, in some way, shape, or form. If you chose to clean that up, you know, but that'd be a good first step, in my opinion, is to spray it and get it dead, and then it would be easy to deal with, you know.
So going forward, then how would you handle it?
Well, once it's dead, then it would be relatively easy to do. I mean, as far as,
But I'm not talking 15, 20 years down the road. Eventually, is it just gonna turn back to levels?
it would, unless it's kept clean, and a couple things, either equipment like ours or burning, once it's dead, it would burn off relatively well. You know, I mean, so there would be a situation where just burning would deal with it, but green willows will not burn, that stuff will not burn, you know, as it stands. But getting it, you know, getting the waterway cleared out, that is like a step, but getting that stuff dead in there is another, so it just eliminates the fuel for beaver and whatnot to deal with down the road. Or fall in there and create it to fill back up again, like it has.
Well, 2 beaver dams a year, it's gonna cost you $1,200-1,500. So.
We do seem like the beaver's under control for now, but whatever they trapped, there hasn't been any activity in there since then, but,
Until some more decide to move in,
Yeah.
it's squawked.
yeah.
Oh, I got a question on that one. We're from Minnesota, but do you have a small game license where we could put live traps down there?
There's a trapping season for beavers,
Okay,
and so I think anybody's at will to trap beavers on their own land, you know, during trapping season, and then outside of trapping season, you can get permission from the conservation officer.
Which kind of happened
to-
here.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
trap nuisance beavers.
okay, so you can get a nuisance license?
It's pretty much just asking permission from the conservation
Yeah.
officer.
Is it like deer where you can get landowners where they don't even cost them? I mean, if you can for deer.
They don't have like tags like for trapping beavers like you would for hunting
Yeah, I
deer.
mean, like a license, be a landowner's license. They have that.
I think it's a little bit more informal for beavers and trapping them.
Denise,
We had the same
this
problem.
person that trapped the beaver there, is from Scarville, so he'd be
Starville,
happy to do it. So,
Okay, so you got a name for me later?
We had the same problem when they were, line, and the DNR was very good to work with. In off-season.
That's what I thought too, for this case.
so if Sean, is unable to do the excavator work, do you guys have time to make it happen, or, because it wouldn't happen next spring?
Yeah, we can check with some others too.
Yeah.
Probably be my next route is to see if we can find somebody else.
I guess there were contractors. Right,
So, yeah, I guess that is the question is, if we clear a path with the trees, open up the flowway, is that acceptable to everybody as county's due diligence?
When you say open up a path and get rid of the trees, how far back are you talking?
Oh, maybe 25 feet?
I don't think that's enough, not to be able to keep it up.
Well, that's just the thing we decided, we're gonna just destroy all those trees
Oh,
in there. So, I think Al came up with a great solution there.
So just get rid of it and turn it back to grass,
Yeah.
and keep it that way
Oh,
in
yeah.
the future.
That's kind of what I was looking at, yeah.
Anybody know anything about that, how to do that?
How much do you think spraying would cost?
I think maybe Scott and I, and I'll volunteer, I'll work with Scott on that as far as trying to talk to the DNR or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I do not know. There's two types of material you can use. There's when we spray for some people, we use a product that is safe to grass, for the sake of. They call it Pasture Garden. It works really well as far as you can spray the tree and it doesn't affect the grass right at all. There's other products out there. They're cheaper that would kill pretty much everything, But I don't know if you care. Really, what I mean by that is if you can spot spray this stuff, the helicopters are doing a good job on a non-windy day of spot spraying this stuff. There really isn't anything out there to worry about anyway at this point, right in the middle of the willows. It's pretty much just woody type stuff. So I don't know if I would worry about that, but I think we'd have to get a number of, what the application would be, and then, and I think 5-Star could give us a pretty good idea with product and cost.
They have the ability to apply it.
And maybe, ask whoever is responsible with the DNR as far as what are they doing, and, because I'm sure they'd have pretty good.
so in that process, you're talking about just spraying the willows and then burning them off.
Yeah, burning would be a good, I guess for the sake of cost, probably that, spray it, burn it, and see what's left from there. And, because I really think if it's dead and you burn it next spring, you'd get a pretty good result in that area.
Rather do that than try to chew up some and.
Well, I think it'd be more cost effective. Yeah, we could do the whole works, but it'd be interesting to see what the spray burn would cost.
Have you estimated what would cost you to do the whole works?
We could come up with a number there.
And then you compare it against the spraying and the burning and the time involved in the
But then
burning.
if you do the whole works, chew it all up, then you still have to treat
The roots are still there.
But that's easy at that point. Once that stuff is down, we'll go in, we'll chew up areas for people, and then come back and spray, after the stuff is maybe, let's just say, 12, 18 inches high, when it's regrowing a little bit,
Then it's pretty easy to kill.
then it's easy to deal with. We
Makes less
just,
spray.
yeah, less spray, it's really easy to go with a Ranger or something like that, and to spot spray it that way. So that'd be, so you're gonna have more shredding costs, less spray costs, or maybe more spray costs with a helicopter or something like that, and less on the back end. So who knows, it might work out to be about a wash one way or the other.
If you spray, or if you chew it up, then spray it as small, then you really don't have to burn it down necessarily,
Correct,
because it's been chewed up.
correct, yeah.
How close to the ground do you cut those off at?
If it's,
So many of them out there, you'd be a little rough on tires, I would think.
it'd be, no, not at all. With our machine, we're right down at ground level.
So,
The difference between a batwing mower, that will just cut it off and leave that stubble, you know, that's up maybe 4 or 6 inches tall, that's tough on tires. In our situation, we're grinding it right down to the ground, and then it's flexible after we get done, so you're not driving over a little mini stump out there.
It's shredded.
Right, right. Two different options, you know.
It almost sounds like your option, burning it all the way completely would be tough too, as far as even after it's dried out, I would think you'd still end up with a fair amount of the.
You could, yeah. It's, definitely, if we were to shred the whole works, it's gone, you know, at that point. And you wait for a regrowth.
That might be the better way to go. Cause you could do that right, I mean, right now and get it over with, whatever.
Well, assuming, I don't know what it's like out
It all
there.
depends what Mother Nature keeps doing here, it seems like she's sending plenty of rain here lately, so.
There's gonna be some challenging areas for you to get in.
Yeah,
Well, if you wanna work with Scott on that,
Figure out two options on that.
If we were to spray it, then we'd probably have to have a little patience then. And
I would say if you sprayed it, it'd turn into a spring thing as far as, shredding or burning, you know, at that point.
See, if you did it this fall with your equipment, then you could even go in yet this fall and
Yeah.
throw some seeds on, right?
Yeah. My concern is, just don't have any idea how firm it is out there, you know.
No, that's, I should.
Does it work to shred in the winter,
Yes,
but then even the low areas don't freeze?
it works to spread in the winter until you get snow. Because drifting in becomes an issue there.
Well, sounds like we've got some plans to, estimate.
But I guess I think it becomes a situation between the landowners and the county as to what everybody wants to see, you know, in the end.
I'd like to see the roots killed and those wolves, to at least start with a fresh slate. You know, kind of like, I don't know, we talked about the picture, the photo of when the easement was taken over or whatever, you know, the right-of-way was started. What did it look like then? I'd like to see a picture of that and restore it to that picture.
Of what year is that, 70?
tricky, you know, as you go back in years of air photography, quality gets poor. It's hard to tell, you know. But all you can tell is that it's been wetland with pieces farmed in amongst it for many, many years.
Okay. So it was possible once upon a time. It was drier once upon a time before, probably.
Hard to tell, but
Well,
you
that's
know, when
what-
the road in the 40s and 50s and 60s went through there,
Right,
you would assume that the road ditches were
better,
flowing well and didn't have a lot of trees in them.
that's right. So that would be good if we get it.
Patterson, you know, I bet he would remember what it looked like.
Well, when Mom signed that over to the county, she got crop destruction for
In
that
the,
year.
in the 70s, that
She
one.
had soybeans out there.
Yeah, so the part on your side,
On-
the gradual curve, quite a bit more area there, so I'm sure some of that would have been farmed.
It's like $1,500 worth of crop.
Back
Yeah,
in
so
1970,
that-
whatever.
That'd be the portion that we're keeping, you know, most of it.
But my guess is, it's like a lot of things that I can remember when I was a boy, I don't remember all those trees being there. All the, I mean, there's some a lot of places where I used to go when I was a kid up by Ray that, are now, it's just like, geez, I don't remember it being like that. So, I mean, it's been a lot of that over the years. So my guess would be it probably been predominantly grass and crops back then. It would be nice to be able to see a picture to really tell.
There's one picture back from way back that I saw, Lynn Kluger showed me, that, on their property, it showed it, the field was a square field right up to the northwest corner of their property, you know, which today is not even close to that, you know.
Willows.
Yeah.
Willows,
Yeah, you got willows.
Gotta come up with a market for those willows.
yeah, make fencing out of them.
So a question that I have then, as far as the drainage side of this thing, once it gets fixed, whatever the fix is, we talked a little bit, you know, a couple weeks ago about that. I mean, it's the elevation become the old culvert, the state line culvert, and just the flow in between becomes the depth. Is that what?
Should be a safe assumption.
Okay.
We can get close to that. You know, if there's trees killed and no brush, we should be able to get survey equipment to tell us that.
One thing, you know, I guess, on their side of the road, their side of the old road, or whatever, what will happen back there on that, I think it's partial B, is,
Yeah. So there's kind of a channel coming out of the property into the old right of way. As the channel comes in from the east and then goes north in the old ditch, we would get the ditch free and clear to that point. And then as it goes back into the property, kind of be up to you guys what you want to do, because the willows and trees, and then it turns into more reeds and cattails. That keeps going and going and going quite a ways into your property. And so I guess it's up to you as to what you want to do with that. But we would get it at least to the point where it exits the old right of way.
So it does meet that channel. You will meet that channel that comes
Yeah,
out of the
and if you-
wetlands. They used to. You used to be able to see that on the aerial map.
I think you still can if the aerial was taken at the right time of year.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, it seems like a pretty well-defined channel going into your property you have out there.
Thank you. Okay, so you're gonna get the drop right. We kind of talked about the
We'll do our
drop.
best. Like I said,
flow.
we're at liberty to restore drainage, not to improve it.
Yeah, we're not asking for that. We just want what used to be. We just want the normal water to be allowed to flow as it does, as it chooses.
Sounds like we're all on the same page.
So do you think we ought to look into spraying that entire area?
I do.
I'd like to know the number anyway.
See what it costs to do it, spraying it, and compared to what you think you can do the whole thing, just going out spraying it.
well, I'll just throw this out. So if, let's just say spraying became the deal, this might be a situation for the east side of the road. You know, if you wanted to, you know, doing it once would be far cheaper than doing it twice, but piggyback on that if you wanted to do something with the willows on your property.
Yes,
There,
just talking about that.
yeah,
While he's there,
Yes.
he just.
While he's there,
do it all.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'll give us an estimate too.
Which,
Yeah.
which if he's already gonna be there, I'm assuming that, you know, what's on your property, you would have to pay for,
Yeah.
that section of it.
Yeah. just
And,
give me an
but
estimate.
being he's already there, I would think it'd be about as cheap as you're ever gonna get it done, so.
Right.
And we want it clean. Because if we keep those, what good is that? It's just
I'll
gonna
guarantee
spread.
a beaver's gonna come back. if-
Yeah, it's just gonna
Yeah.
spread, so we want it cleaned out.
That'll give, we talked about the water never used to be so high on your guys' end of it, and that's because you've
No.
lost the drainage. as
Yep.
far as-
Backed up. Gosh, guys, thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody's input.
Does that stuff have to be green, spray it?
If you're gonna spray it, it's gotta get done like pronto.
Here.
Yeah.
Starting to turn the road.
So I mean, is that something that, you know, if, we get some numbers, is there, how much approval needs to be done here? I mean, if you,
I'm
I guess-
willing to, if you guys get together, I'm willing to, you know, get Scott the authority, just do it, you guys can do it.
if it becomes a shredding thing, then it doesn't matter, but right now, the greener the better for spraying, you know.
What's the max you would think it'd be?
Maybe I'm wrong on the deeper thing, but if we don't get the situation taken care of, we'll spend $1,200 to $1,500 a year taking dams out over the next few years. So you can put that in your equation too.
I tried to come up with some numbers today.
For the rest of it?
Well, no, I'm saying for the spraying part of it, so. 'cause-
Okay, you'll do that part?
Yeah.
We'll call Five Star or somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll get that information to Scott, you know, just as soon as I can get it, because like I say, that's a number that I can't, that's not my number, it's just passing information along.
Timing is critical on that.
Yeah,
How many acres do you think are on your guys' side that we're gonna be, also need to be spayed?
I have no idea. Do you have an idea?
well, I think, you know, you've lost, I think it's gonna be on your side, it's gonna be probably,
6?
I think that's a push, but I think, 3 to 5, you know, maybe,
You can measure it on the county map.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a drawing tool, you could draw a perimeter around it and it'll tell you how many acres.
Oh, thank you.
Is that something, Scott, could you help them with that?
Because those have also crept up close to the border, you know, all along there, that road there, they've gotten bigger. I've seen in the last couple of years that they've, you know, they're working their way across the
Ditch.
road ditch toward the road.
Right.
And we've all been there, it starts right at the road.
Yeah,
And
it's
and
getting
once,
really bad.
once this problem has been eradicated here now, and then you guys are all okay with the fact that you guys will have to maintain it in the future?
We don't have a choice.
You're gonna- yeah, but, I mean,
But
it's-
we just appreciate helping us get it back to a,
Manageable.
manageable point where we can
It's much more easy to maintain than.
I'd like, if you want me to authorize something in the meantime, I'd like to have a number of what you guys are comfortable with.
Well, in my mind, it's gotta be done, so whatever it costs, it's gonna cost.
I think the fair thing there is to find out what the cost is before
And then
you make a
make a
decision.
decision.
Well,
One may be way cheaper than the other.
well, are we talking about just the trees?
Spraying of all the trees.
Spraying and cutting down.
Right,
Chop.
that part of it, I would think.
Whichever one is better and more feasible for the time that we have.
Right, but I'd just like to have a top end before,
Well, what are you willing to spend too, you know?
And I guess the spraying, none of us have a clue on.
Like I said, I mean, you start throwing even $1,000 a year to take the beaver dams out, 10 years, you spent 10 grand, so.
That's why I was wondering about the live traps, you know, if we, being landowners, if we could trap, if there's a license we could have for nuisance critters, you know, like get one annually or something. and
should
then
be
just
no
take
big
care
deal.
of it.
You can talk to the recorder's office, that the information in
Next
there.
door here.
Okay,
I mean, this would be
Yeah.
a smaller
You see how
job.
big beaver get? I wouldn't want to get anywhere close to the live one,
Yeah, they're playing.
personally.
Al,
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody that.
We'll take the cameras pointed this way.
Most spraying is done for less than, $10, $15 an acre, so even if it costs $100 an acre, we're only talking $1,200 that it would probably cost to spray it. I would think that would be a reasonable amount, reasonable.
I just think,
estimate, I should say.
let's get a number, so, because we're all in the dark here,
Yeah.
as far as what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what it costs.
Sure. If we get a number though, we gotta wait
Yeah,
till
but
next
since time is-
Tuesday to
yeah.
approve it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Give me a top end and then,
$3,000.
I'm willing to go more.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it's gonna cost, it's gonna cost. And then if you're way cheaper than what it's gonna cost to spray, or the vice versa, then
You
we
know,
don't stretch it.
we got two interested parties here, so just got, if you want a motion, just leave it up to you and use your,
I
you
would
know,
just
I
like,
know you want one, I know, but, since we have no clue, to me, it'd be worth 8,000. Just like I said, the beavers, but, it should never cost that much.
It shouldn't cost that much, but,
We'll divide it over the last 50 years.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Then it looks really cheap.
Should we
It
just
does to me.
Go with the number now, go 5,000 then?
That's fine with me.
All right,
yeah,
sure, just, you wanna make a motion?
don't tell them that first, you know.
Right.
You're going to start up to $5,000,
To proceed with the,
either way,
Yeah. Spend up to $5,000, removing by having it ground or sprayed, whichever turns out to be the best option.
Now, will that take care of the cottonwoods too?
No.
Cottonwoods.
Not the big ones. Any saplings, maybe.
You want those removed too?
That's from corner to corner.
how many are there with you guys?
I don't know.
Boy, I don't know either.
Half dozen maybe. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it couldn't be more than 10 that I remember, but I
one
didn't
less
count.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one.
Well, an excavator can make short work of what
Yes.
is out there.
When
with
he's
those.
out there cleaning the
Yeah.
ditch, that could be.
Might as well clean everything out. Easier to keep up the ditch once it's dug.
I would think there's not much root system on those with all mushrooms there.
Some people would maybe wanna keep the trees and other people wouldn't, so if you guys want them gone, then.
It might.
They
be
weren't
worth
there,
it.
they weren't there in the beginning, I would guess, so.
I'm guessing not those trees.
Mhm.
Like Robert was talking about out to the county area out there, none of those trees were there at the start.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a motion from Stenzer and a second from Jensvold to proceed with the removal of the trees on the vacated property, not to exceed $5,000. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Good luck.
And that would basically be for the willows. Now the cottonwoods, is that something that, when the backhoe's out there, that'll be part of the cleaning, is to knock those down, or?
Not my field here, but
Pretty big, you know.
I've seen excavators take them down and that would take an excavator not even an hour.
But what do you do with it after that? You just let
Well, there would be a situation, do you pile it up to burn it or something? But I mean, yeah, I can't
It'd be nice if it
answer.
was piled.
Yeah,
All parties involved would just should see the big trees gone.
It's on their
Yes.
property.
So it's up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, when they spray this, if they do it aerial, will that take care of those cottonwoods too? I mean, will that automatically kill them, or are they so big and that if the spray won't?
I would say probably not.
Yeah, it might hit them a little bit, but it's not gonna probably
Right.
kill them. Quite a bit of tree. All right. Move forward with that then. All right. So you gonna work with them after a little bit here when you get done with us?
If you want to stick around a few minutes, I can get you an area. Otherwise, I got one more thing to discuss with you here.
Two,
Yeah.
3, 4.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So
You're here all
I'm gonna
day.
give you a call after I find out what our area is.
Okay, yeah, please do, because I'll need to know that. Because
All right, so Scott Minders will discuss secondary road maintenance.
Do you have something else you wanna say, Al?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, okay, for the sake of acres then, if I should have asked this before, so how many acres should I go after here? Should I say about 10? Is with Corey's side, and then there maybe 3-4 acres or something like that?
Did we spray our road ditch?
Yeah,
Because I noticed it was dead.
Well, not all of it, just a little bit of it.
this,
Reach.
That's all they could reach, yeah.
the vacated area makes up about 5 acres.
And then maybe there's, would you
We'll
guess?
see, we'll look that up.
I think it's gonna be a maximum of 10 acres. So for the sake of me going forward here, I'll just ask, I'll say 8 to 10 and, have them commit to
Are
some
you
sort of a
gonna
number.
have them sprayed or right away then?
Get everything from the road to the old road, everything in there, I guess.
Okay.
It'll help snow removal too.
Yeah.
I mean, it never used to build up like it does now.
Secondary road matters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have too much
Thank you.
here. I heard the guys on the radio this morning, they're moving to Forest City, out of East Territory with gravel, so that means they're getting close to done with the gravel haul for the year. Of course, bridge projects, things are kind of slow with the weather, the way it's been. Not much to report. Working on finalizing plans for paving for next year, and maybe in a week or two I can get you more details on that.
I have nothing.
All right. Move on to Scott Minders, engineer, to discuss asbestos report received from site services. We'll go back.
Yeah. I had one of the bus drivers approach me about 140th. I believe it was Highway 9 when it comes in south. Evidently there's I can't remember which one he said, but it's terrible. A stretch there that's got some pretty bad spots in it.
Okay. There was quite a few spots I noticed after the rains that were gullied out and stuff, so it's possible, I guess, if you get specifics.
South by Highway 9 is where the turbine traffic's been.
Yeah, so maybe it's south.
I don't know that there's much traffic.
If I was to make a bet on which one he said, I would say it was south. I wanted to say south, but then I couldn't remember.
If it was north, it'd be beach traffic, probably.
Yeah. He approached me in a place where there was a lot of people and it was busy. Oh, it's at the football game this Friday night.
But it was somewhere near Highway 9.
Yeah. It was one way or the other. Yeah. And the way it sounded, it was the first mile was the worst.
Yeah, south has been a challenge because of the traffic.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say, but that wasn't the conversation.
Right. We'll go back to number 4, Scott Minders, and discuss asbestos report received from Site Services Incorporated.
My intention last winter was to put asbestos numbers with demolition numbers with utility disconnects, all these kinds of things together. I got asbestos numbers and then we, got into the summer and things kind of got away, so I haven't got all the demolition numbers put together. But we thought, since we have the asbestos numbers, maybe we want to consider getting that done. So I got 2 quotes, one from Site Services in Algona, one from REW Services in Des Moines, who had reached out to me about it. So I got 2 quotes. The lowest one was $11,650 from Site Services to remove mastics, roof tar, sink, fire doors, boiler gaskets, and elevator brake pads. Some of these may need to be during demolition in order to get to them, specifically like the brake pads and the elevator, because I understand the elevator's right at the top, and how do you get it down? It's not operational, sounds like. So I'm not so
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, we had the asbestos inspection report updated before this, so
Did you
this
say,
is,
now you had checked the roof, was there anything in the roof?
they got 250 linear feet of roof tar. And I think it's around, there's some part of the, maybe it's the elevator shaft that goes up. Maybe there's some isolated material up there, because they were on the roof and checked everything out. They took samples of the membrane and whatever, mastics they could find, that kind of stuff. So these are only good for a year, so, when you get these things updated, it's nice to proceed. Like I said, you can get everything out of there that's accessible, and then have only what's remaining during demolition. That might be good in case you want to suddenly pull the trigger on demolition if conditions are right and there's availability from our crew or whatever. This is a proposal only good for 30 days, and it's from May, so I can get it updated.
Change.
So you're saying that you would have them do part of the work now and do the rest of the work as you take it down?
The way that it's written, it looks like they should be able to get everything but the brake pads, and maybe they can get those, but they would have to do a little bit of work to figure out how to get them.
It'd be kind of fun getting that elevator. Just cut the cable and watch it go. Just don't stand on top of it when you do it.
So there's also still power to the building. I think there's still the ability for water, and the sewer is still connected. I think there's maybe even some fiber that runs through there, different things like that. So it's not perfectly straightforward.
Disconnected.
I think it's disconnected at the
Because that was
building.
the source of one of the water.
I don't think that it's disconnected at the street. I'd have to look at my notes, but
Did that have natural gas to it?
did, and I believe the meter's been removed. I'm not sure if it's been disconnected where it needs to be. Same for, the electric's still live, so there's plenty of things that need to be done, but the asbestos is, I think, one thing that almost stands alone. Most of it does. So if you got a spot in the budget for $12,000, maybe be worth spending now. And even if you
I'd have to look to see what.
Would that be under Kevin's budget then?
Well, aside from the eyesore, since we are a little tapped, can't we just let it sit for another year? You take the risk of costing more for the asbestos removal, but it can't be that much more.
Well, I guess the asbestos part of it, I have no problem moving forward with to get rid of it.
Well, I don't either.
Fine.
Yeah.
But as far as taking it down, that's probably a subject.
Any idea? Ballpark?
on demolition costs.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do with it?
40,000.
I don't know. That's no idea. I'm not.
Is it something you would, trying to think,
Well, the landfill take, I think, don't they take,
Can you get,
I know they'll take from, cement contractors. for
Yeah, they
free.
do.
the landfill will take it.
But it's gonna be, some of it's gonna be bulky because you got your hollow clay block.
Yeah.
I've seen where, somewhere I saw where, somebody like Cleaner has that, grinder. And you
I
can chew it up and.
don't know how well they can separate it or anything like that. I don't. For
They don't.
total cost, I don't know, 25 to 50,000.
But, a lot of places don't like that clay block ground up to use it for anything. I know they'll take,
I'm just saying at the landfill, if you take it to the landfill, it takes less space if it's ground up, but then it costs money to grind it up to.
well, the landfill, they usually charge by the pound, don't they?
They don't charge for cement. Yeah, well, the clay, I don't know about clay, but for cement, they don't charge.
Oh, is that right?
You know,
There.
At least they don't for like Bill Rigg, I know,
If it was-
and Corey Cox, they brought it out there and didn't get charged, so.
If it was ground up, they'd use it just as a part of the layer to cover up the layer of garbage.
Well, I think that's another discussion to have. We're talking about the asbestos report moving forward with this. What are your thoughts on this? This is just discussion, there was no
We gotta
action.
amend our budget then, say, let's let her sit for another year.
So I don't think it really takes any formal action. If you guys wanna say, sounds good, we can get it going, if Charles got a spot in the budget for it, but I guess this is outside of my department, just as a courtesy here.
Yeah, well, and it was, Kevin's gonna be here in a minutes.
So,
We could call him and get him in here and, I don't know if he's got room in his budget for it or not,
I know you'll say no.
probably.
May have to amend the budget for into it this year.
I would be against that, to add the budget for it.
And I don't know off the top of my head if there's room for it in the budget or not, so I would have to do some research.
I don't remember discussing it as a cost in our planning.
Well, we can put it off till next week, and then you can tell us whether you found a spot or not. Then we know exactly what we're gonna do.
It was just an idea out there, so.
Yep.
So we were talking about the,
Kevin, just leave it open now, I think. Yeah,
we were talking about the asbestos removal.
Okay.
And if there's any spot in the budget. It's $11,650.
Not really.
I don't remember any budget discussion about any items like that.
We didn't have any numbers there, and so we didn't bring it up. So, I mean, if we get to April, March even, you know, we can revisit it then, kind of look and add and subtract and all that.
All right. Okay. Thanks for the report. You know, we got it.
Yep,
Yep.
if you wanna take action on it, it's here and just needs to be updated and executed. So. In a file in my office, so
All right.
whenever you,
Thank you. All right. She's 75 above.
Yep.
This is Chris.
Hi, Chris, we're ready for drainage quick.
Okay, thanks.
So you have anything for drainage?
No.
You don't?
No.
Do you guys have anything for drainage?
Okay,
That was simple.
that was easy.
The only one I have is we're coordinating on Thursday. I'll meet with DNR out to that hog site. It's gonna be right next to the DD 11.
Yeah, I've got Rick in on that too.
Does he want to be there?
Well, you'll have to ask him. I don't know what his schedule is, but
But the DNR is looking at the site plans. I forwarded it on to him. He said they're going to review that. We'll talk to legal. Ask.
yeah, because they trying to do this hog confinement to not have that project go through.
Guess I can't say.
So I don't know what you have to do with that.
You have to be 500 feet from any water thing. Depends on what do you count first?
Right.
Existing plan.
Because this has been in the works for over a year, so
Yeah.
what takes precedence?
That's all I have.
Yeah, do you want to get a hold of Rick about Thursday then?
Yeah, I'll talk.
Okay, sounds
Let him
good.
know what's going on.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I do have one. Markham called me last night. Arms was supposed to be taking care of those blowouts. You know anything about that?
He's done a couple. Is there more?
According to Thornton, there is.
Okay.
Yep. Is that something you wanna take care of?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good. All right, that was easy, thanks.
TIF report. The annual, you guys get a chance to look at it then? How long do you have to report these ones that are done because we refinanced?
I have not asked how long I need to leave them on there.
Yeah, 'cause it just makes a lot more papers.
It does, but I think they want them on there just to, because they're refinanced, so the beginning
Yeah,
is
show
still
it
part of it,
whole,
so
until, I suppose until you finish the last one.
until we're out our 20 years.
Plus it obfuscates the whole picture, really, you know. But
All right.
I'm good with it.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual TIF report.
Second that?
A motion from Derby and a second from Stenzer to approve the annual TIF report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Can you please do
The top.
Stamping?
that?
Did you update the legislative policy?
I did.
I'd almost like to have my own copy of this.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll look at it after we get done with Kevin. All right.
A couple of small tweaks that had to be done to it.
10 o'clock, Kevin Williams to discuss drain issues with courthouse.
This is just more of a heads up. We're gonna take care of that drain. It sits out there in the south, west corner. Randy's probably gonna be here Monday. Well, first part of next week, he's hoping. The point is, K2 and I pumped that water out of there and ran it over on the lawn, and go figure it runs downhill and went across the sidewalk. I'm not 100% sure it's gonna accomplish what, we'll meet their new ordinance. We're 8 feet from the street and we're pumping it onto dirt. I just wanted you guys to be aware, I'm not sure this is gonna eliminate the problem. We need a storm drain, but there isn't one, so we're gonna try and keep it up on the lawn. If we've gotta get sandbags, we'll do the best we can, but I want you guys to be aware. Water runs downhill, no more involved than that, so. Just something I thought you should know.
All right.
All right, easy enough. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. Yeah, ground only does so much.
It's gonna make the last one be a mess, but
You just gotta run the thing further off to the east and north a little bit to have more lawn before it gets to the
The
side.
problem
Was this a
is
cistern?
if you run it-
Is that a storm drain?
if you run it further that way, you're gonna run it into the basement of the courthouse, and you don't want that
Oh,
either.
yeah, no, it's,
Is that a cistern or a storm drain?
It's that,
But is it
it's,
a storm drain?
well, no, it's not a city storm drain, it's a hole in the ground.
Oh, okay. So it's more like a cistern.
And the source of the water there is,
Rainwater.
Underground water, yeah.
Is that there to keep the water level away from
It's
the
supposed to
basement?
keep the water from going onto the street, but we've been so wet that it doesn't, it's been spilling out. So then the city passed this new ordinance that you have to have it so many, like you can't run on the street. It has to be so many feet away from the street where there's something and
Is that for some private sump pumps, residential? Is
it's,
that the reason for that?
well, they made it for everybody,
Yeah, I know, but
businesses too.
I know that, but I would think they could work with us.
She told us, no. That we needed to do it.
They don't want the water in the storm system, right? Isn't that what it was?
What's going to be eventually,
Well, no, wasn't there something, because we had another issue out here. What was that?
there was a tile.
So, yeah, it was a tile, right?
Well, it's the tile, the downspout goes in
They wanted that taken care of, right? They didn't want that water running through the, I don't know where else you
there.
go with
We've
it.
been informed.
All right, yeah.
Let's go back to legislative policies. You want to make us each one?
I was waiting for her to walk over to my office.
All right. Guess I don't see any problems with this.
Are we ready to pass it?
I'll make a motion to approve Winnebago County legislative policies and procedures.
Second.
Got a motion from Gensel and a second from Stenzer to approve the Winnebago County legislative policies and procedures. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Can you stamp one of those two, just the sheets, sorry?
You want to skip down to 10? What you're saying?
Yeah,
We're gonna do the open forum. You want to come in? You want to state your name for the record?
To show you that I did file with the Iowa Civil Rights Commission.
we started new policies, what's the state, your name?
And then I also filed with Disability Rights. to you.
Yes, please.
You need to sign in here.
Grace, did you sign in?
No, but I will.
Okay.
Alright. Basically, the Iowa Civil Rights decided to close my case because they said that I didn't have enough evidence, supposedly, but it didn't disregard the city's bad behavior. They did note that, although apparently that's not illegal to be, misbehave, and when they did that dirty thing about sending a summons to the wrong address on purpose, because I told you guys that I would go to Ted Gassman and get a bill made. But after sending Ted Gassman 27 texts in 8 months and no reply, and then he finally sent me a text that he doesn't text, and that he said I don't live in his jurisdiction, and that, in other words, he talked about me saying you just need to go to your representative now where you live. But he's been my friend for 45 years. But now he's not. And basically, everybody is saying that I am an undue burden and I cause undue financial hardship for everyone. Well, that makes me feel really bad because I'm still a person. I still have rights. And both agencies, when I filed with Iowa Civil Rights, the disability rights, when they found out I already filed, they said they didn't want to do it until Civil Rights decided first because they said it would be duplicated. But I said, no, it wouldn't be, because that doesn't mean you're going to have the same outcome even if you do it at the same time. It was a big battle. A lot of time and energy is what I spent on all this. But basically, and then the other thing is, when I first came here, and I went to everybody else too, I asked everybody, I said, I would appreciate it if you guys would call or write letters and tell them how disappointed you are in the city's behavior. But I always would get cut off and say, well, you're not going to get, we can't make them give your property back. And I said, no, that's not it. I want you to do something. But no one called them, no one wrote letters to say how disappointed that their actions, that the way they treated me. And I know that you did try something, and I appreciate that because your mom lives in Thompson. But when the city told you, after everything they did, they said, but you can tell him he can buy his property back, that was an insult, and you knew it too. You should have told him that that's just disgusting for someone to steal something from someone and then say, oh, and you can buy your property back after we've taken all your property and tore the building down. I just wish you would have at least told them something. But nobody's wrote a letter, nobody's told the city or called them up and say how immoral and unethical. There's no empathy, none. It's just like all this work that I've done all my life to help people. And I did construction work and I was helping people for 50 years because I was deaf and I relived and I talked. But the problem I was having with the state is because they're saying, because you talk, this is what's happening. We're not going to open your case. Because I communicate. It even said on the Iowa disability thing, because I communicated. And then the other thing is I can't find the papers now. It must be at my house. But the first one, before it got closed again, I had, and the city hired the first attorney, but I can't sue him because the statute of limitation ran up. But he's the one I told in the very beginning. He was the one harassing me about all my cars that were running and in perfect condition. I even told Dave about that. And during that time, Dave was trying to get hired back because Jensen fired him. And he wasn't working anymore for about 5 years. But now he's the sheriff again. But he told me, yeah, if I were you, just leave the car there. But they harassed me for 8 years. Called me names, they bullied me. They did anything you could think of in the book. So I finally moved my cars, but I wish I wouldn't have, because then they claimed that the property was abandoned because there was no cars on there. They tricked me. So that's why I wanted to get 3 bills with Ted Gassman. But then I can't do anything now with Ted Gassman because of what I just told you. I tried to communicate with him, and then he just talked about me. Everybody talked about me. So basically my big announcement, and then I'm gone, is effectively the end of this month I'm no longer talking publicly, ever, for the rest of my life, because I did it for 50 years. I'm 56 right now. I made everybody's jobs easier. I thought I made everybody's lives easier too, but I was mistaken, because I got nothing to show for it. And also, if you look on the Iowa Disability Rights thing on the summary in the front page, on the last part, it'll say where I applied for visas for Canada, because that's where I'm headed. Because their disability laws are better there. This stuff would have never happened. I'm living in the wrong country. And I'm sorry if I sound mad and upset, but I have every right to be mad and upset. But the other thing I'm really upset about is how the city could lie and say that I was threatening them. I'm not. I'm just talking. You know what I mean? I'm not yelling, throwing stuff, breaking stuff. They made it sound like I was so bad. Well, why didn't they call the law enforcement then? I wish they would have, because then they could have came there and saw for themselves there's nothing going on. So basically, my big announcement is I'm no longer talking, ever. So if you see me and you say hi, I'll wave, but I ain't talking. The end of this month. All bets are off. So if anybody has a problem with that, well, that's too bad. And it's a big loss to everybody. Even my family's really upset about it. My father is really pissed off. He stopped talking to me already. He's a Vietnam veteran, but I tried to tell him for years. I told him I wanted him to try to learn sign language, at least try. But he says, I don't have to, because your read looks good enough. And that's exactly what Tom Swearingen told me, you know. And I told him, you know, do I tell you to take your glasses off because you can read good enough? I've never said anything cruel or unkind to anyone. And I know this happened 3 years ago, but it feels like yesterday for me. So, and then the other thing I mentioned was when all this happened, I went to Iowa Deaf Services, but they were shuttered due to state budget cuts. So in my greatest time of need, they were shuttered. And then I came here, and then they finally reopened, but that was the first time they were ever shuttered in 89 years due to state budget cuts. And the other thing is I couldn't appeal for my property because I didn't find out about it until 90 days after the fact. You know, I was supposed to do it within 30 days, but I didn't even know it was theirs. I still assumed it was mine. The way I found out was I came down, I went to Myron, Myron Johnson, and he's the guy that mowed my lawn while I was gone, because I was working and taking care of my mother because she had back surgery and stuff. So I was caretaking, I was out of state, so that's why the city decided to take advantage of me by mailing the summons to the wrong address. They knew where I lived, because the first lawyer is the one I told I want an interpreter. The city got mad at him, fired him, hired a new person without telling her anything about me. She didn't even know I was deaf until 90 days after when I found out. So this whole thing is just bizarre. I mean, I could ramble on and on about all the bad things, but the bottom line is this stuff should have never happened. I don't even understand how this could happen here in America, let alone in the state. In Texas, you can't take anybody's property unless you give them proper restitution or approximate value of said property. But the problem is the laws are vague, And I'm angry because it's funny, how big does a law have to be before you get justice? So, this is the last time I'll be in here, but I really wish that people would have called or wrote a letter to tell the city of Thompson how bad their behavior was, and I'll never forgive them. So, I wish you all good luck.
Anything else for open forum?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say it.
That's from last week, it just has the right stuff on it.
Okay, nothing else for open forum?
Nothing.
All right, let's go back to Winnebago County reimbursement policy.
So this is just a reminder, I guess, to everybody. And this is basically all in effect right now. It just makes it official. Joy made copies of that for you too.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion. Get up with nine. Take care of that.
What's that?
We go to nine and just take care of that.
Oh, yes.
I have no problem with it, so I make a move to approve the county claims.
I'll say it.
Motion from Stenser and a second from Jensel to approve the county claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll just detail. This has been getting abused.
What's, like, we have problems sometimes with people who put, like, their meals on their credit card, and then they don't pay. They wanna give Chris, like, cash instead of writing a check to Visa. Well, why should Chris have to write her check when it's their responsibility? So it's just things like that that are,
I've seen a couple of elaborate payments.
there has been a couple of, seems like the same people abuse that policy all the time. It's, but I will say most people don't, though.
No, yeah, no, it's only been just very few and far between.
So we're looking for an approval on this and
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Just
second
as it's stated.
all right, I've got a motion second from Jensvold to approve the North Iron County reimbursement policy as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You taking care of county claims. I made the motion, Bill seconded it.
Oh, okay.
That should take care of our agenda.
There should be one that goes stamped in here.
Oh.
Two.
Yeah, we got it.
And then here's this one too.
Never seen that before.
What's it say?
Mobilization Doosan or Dosen? D-O-S-A-N, yeah, I've never heard anything like that. Yeah.
Should have been on the front page. That's the one.
That's one thing I take care of. This has been working for 6 years.
Scott left his phone.
Oh, it's just Scott's phone. That's right.
Hello?
Yeah, this is a hard one. That was one that we tried to get done 2 years ago. Just took that long to get there.
There's been a lot of them that have been a long time or more.
Well, that's catching up.
But when you only have two
Consistent.
guys that are out there working, you got Helgeson and McCarr, and that's all.
We just found it, it was sitting there.
Yeah, I remembered it after I called it.
All right, I guess we'll stand adjourned.